Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Scorpio. If Scorpio is your solar, lunar, ascendant/rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, here we go. All right, let's see what these tea leaves have to say. These ones are interesting. We're using a tea mixture called Tiger Eye tonight. So I'm trying out some different teas. I usually use the Empire of Keeman tea, and the place that I usually get it from ran out. So they were ordering some, and I decided to get a few bags of other teas just to kind of see if there's, anything else I like, or maybe they have a different vibe, which I will say they do. The last 2 nights, so 4 readings, I've done a different tea every night. So they've been different. They feel different. They look different. They taste different, obviously. And I've been liking them all, really. Okay, let's see. We have some really pretty ones here. This one is the first one I'm really looking at. It looks like a person they're holding something over their head, like if it were raining, and it looks like they're holding a bird in their hand. And that's a really beautiful image. It reminds me of kind of like a long, spindly goddess figure. And it really just kind of makes me think of being very, just like a sense of cleansing and joy and being so present in the rain, when you get caught in the rain, and having this sensation of your soul being so free, just kind of pouring out of you, sitting in your hand, just that beautiful moment of peace and contentment, and the ability just to kind of be in the moment. And that is interesting because the card that we have is the 10 of Cups, which is the satiety. How do I say it? Yeah, satiety. So to be satiated. And this is all about contentment and satisfaction. This seems like, right? This is like the ultimate purpose, to have that kind of moment where your cup is so filled to the brim that it's just about to start pouring over. And then it kind of does. The interesting quality of being kind of satiated, having hit the peak or climax of something, is that it's an indication of its kind of fleeting and transitory nature, that no thing is always, going to continue. The buildup will hit its peak at some point, and then there will be a pouring out or decline, right? So kind of bittersweet a little bit, right? But we're gonna see where it takes us. We're gonna see where this one takes us today. So I saw kind of another goddess figure over here, and this one's interesting. It is very much kind of that yoni type shape, and reminds me so much of these kind of prehistoric or pre-modern kind of fertility goddesses, and very potent, and often in these beautiful, identifiable kinds of shapes. And really, I feel that this reading is so much about a pursuit of pleasure, but really a pleasure that can be individual, or this could be, a shared experience with a partner or partners. And it doesn't have to be necessarily pleasure as far as like copulation, but just kind of a deeper exploration of your deeper desires, your the things that are coming up in whatever cycle of life you are in, that are starting to present themselves as being, very sought after in your heart, mind, and soul. And these things can change as we grow as people, as things happen throughout our lives, and we're just attracted to different things. And I will, some examples, like for me was when I was younger, it was all about going to like loud music and kind of being out late at night and having, kind of a unsettled life, and keeping jobs that gave me the freedom to do as I really wanted. And, just those were my desired, pleasurable experiences. And now it's really like, I still like to listen to loud music, but just not with other people. I like to have my own space. I like to be able to go and take walks and enjoy being in the yard and, with my family, and in bed as early as I can, and, just enjoying art. Really, I've always enjoyed art, but really taking my time to look at it and to take it in is really one of the most pleasurable experiences really in life. And I do yearn for a time when our life is a little less busy, and our child is out of her toddler years, and we can kind of have long mornings where we can like drink coffee and read and these kinds of things. So that will be the next cycle of of my pleasures. But I do think that all of these, it's such a, maybe it's the tea, maybe it's the alignment of the stars tonight, maybe it's just really pouring out of Scorpio this week. But there really is this feeling of returning to those places of deep pleasures for you, things that really make you feel alive, and the vitality is kind of coming up and pulsing through you, and you're full and swollen of life. And there are moments of sleep where you feel very restful, and you rise to meet the day and feel that you're complete, your tank is full, right? So let's look at a little bit more here. And this one's interesting because we also have another person who seems to be holding, not unlike this one with the thing over her head. This person is holding up, it looks like an umbrella. And way up here at the top, it looks like it has a bird kind of perched on it. So we have, again, this kind of rain and the shelter from the rain, and this bird. Now this one looks like it's getting ready to take off. So I think that, and this is such an interesting, it's so funny how these kinds of motifs will sometimes really reiterate themselves in the tea leaves. And part of it is that, okay, we kind of perceive what already starts to get into our mind, right? But then sometimes it's just so uncanny. It's like it can't be a coincidence, right? So I really think that, you know, this is, again, just going through this idea of being in it, being in the moment, really, really holding on to, and this is kind of a little bit of a paradox, but holding on to the idea of these pleasurable pursuits are not forever. And that's what really makes them pleasurable, because you have them for a moment, right? And the whole journey from conception to the, you know, seeking and being immersed in, and kind of being able to complete the actual indulgence, or, you know, whatever it is. That whole, it's all of it is the pleasurable. It's all pleasurable. Okay. It's not just at the end when you get to actually, you've been baking all day and decorating your cake, and then you sit down and then you eat it. And then, you know, that's like the best part. Well, I think the whole thing really is, right? And so, I think, you know, this whole story that we're looking at in here is so much about trying to activate our presence in every part of the process, and really finding that satisfaction in all of the parts that we get to, that we're so privileged to participate in. But not only that, finding more ways to gain pleasure in our life. I think it's like we get into these modes where, you know, we're only happy on sunny days, not the days that it rains, okay? Or maybe the opposite. Maybe you're like me, where I am super excited when I wake up and, you know, after so many days of sunshine and we get some storms, and feel alive again. It's so gray and pretty, and, you know, but I think we get caught up in this idea that there are only certain times that things can be really our pleasures. And of course, yes, we have busy times, and there's so much tedium to all the mundane things that we do. But, you know, maybe part of the joy of life is finding those moments to find the pleasure in the little things, right? For me, my example here is like, and this is what's coming to mind, is doing chores. You know, of course, I spend a lot of time doing them because mostly I am a stay-at-home parent. And so, or what do they call that? A domestic goddess. So, I'm doing a lot of chores, a lot of cleaning up, a lot of, you know, washing clothes and floors and whatever, you know. But the thing that really makes it so fun for me, aside from my daughter, she, you know, when she's in an agreeable mood, she's fun to watch, but, and get her involved, but, is adding music to anything. I like to play a lot of music around the house and dance and kind of, just get lost in what I'm doing or listening to podcasts or like lectures and things. And this is where I kind of put those pleasurable experiences into the stuff that's kind of, could take it or leave it sometimes, maybe mostly leave it. But I think a lot of times it's about creating our own fun, creating our own enjoyment, creating our own contentment and satisfaction. And it's not something that is just going to arrive to us. It is something that we not only have to seek out, right? But we also have to employ it, activate it. It is not something that you can always just hang around and wait for things to align. And yeah, that's really nice. It's like really a surprise when the world aligns in such a way that something surprisingly enjoyable happens. But let's face it, if we did that all the time, it wouldn't happen often, probably. So I think that it's also just so much about being able to cultivate an ability to widen our enjoyment as well, finding as many things as we can that we do enjoy in life. So really getting out there and finding new things to do, new things to explore, new sports. I'm trying to think. New sports, new hobbies, new musics to listen to, new artists. And these are all my things, kind of. I wanted to look at this too. I think this is kind of silly. It looks like kind of almost like a witch with a little hat. And then it almost looks like we have this kind of little, it looks like a little demon or something holding on to the broom or whatever that is. It almost looks like a tail. Maybe she has a little bit of a devil's tail herself or their self. And so, maybe, I don't know exactly what this means besides possibly stepping outside of our kind of the code of morality that we've created for ourselves. There are a lot of things that we will look at in life and say, I'll never do that. Why would anybody ever do that? This is, not for me. But I think sometimes when we get onto the outside of what we consider our limits or our or not boundaries, but just things that we're not into. And I'm trying to think, like for examples, like I don't know that. Okay, so before I left the city, I never thought that I would ever go to, like a demolition derby or something like that. I mean, these things, they have like a lot of county fairs and, they have a lot of country music and people like drive in the mud and, just stuff that like I don't know. It's outside of my context of what I know about life, really. And so I always just figured, okay, this is like they're on something else than I am. We have two different waves, right? I could never enjoy that. Well, I'll tell you what, I have gone to a lot of county fairs now, and in the last 10 years, and, enjoyed a lot of things I never thought I would. And, if I didn't step outside of my, comfort zone, if I didn't kind of, just to me, in my estimate, you know, I'm sure that I'm more of an outsider to some degree, to most people, but to me, they're kind of outsiders of my life. So, stepping out into a place with people who I do not identify with, who, you know, seem very different to me. And then to find out, like, they're doing cool stuff. They're not that different. And, you know, just getting kind of pulled out of my own persona and my sense of self, and, you know, exploring these kind of outlying places in my perception of reality. It's interesting to see how differently people live and the things that they're doing, and how, you know, the more that we go out and experience things, the more, you know, worldly, cultured, just experience living different, going to different kinds of things, like, you know, whatever, just stuff that is off your radar. And now that we have social media, there's so many ways to find out about different kinds of events and places to visit. There's that Atlas Obscura, I think it's called, and that place has a lot of really neat kind of little, you know, like the biggest ball of yarn, or, you know, the largest cathedral, or, you know, whatever it is. I'm thinking of all large things, but, you know, mystery places where there are weird physics going on, just different stuff all over the place. You would be amazed if you look at the maps. But I think it's important to go and just do stuff, witness things, experience people, and be amongst, you know, whatever, just new environments. And that really creates the ability to enjoy things. It changes you as a being, if you know it or not, if you realize it or not, but it really widens your perspective, and it just reorients you to noticing things that you've never noticed before. You know, things that you've probably come in contact constantly and you never knew what they were. You never even knew to even notice it. But once you've been out there going to stuff that you've never seen before, and now you're like, oh, okay, I know where that comes from. One for me that I really love are the on the barns, they have things they're called hex tiles. And they're, I think they're like, they're the Dutch Amish, or I forget exactly who they come. They're like German or Dutch, but they're beautiful. They look kind of like a quilt, like a quilt pattern. But anyways, every kind of farm has their own version of it, and they call it a hex tile, so I don't know exactly what the hex is for. Maybe for safety, or you know, a prosperous harvest, these kinds of things probably. But I'd never, you know, I'd seen them, I thought they were just pretty, but you know, I lived in Pennsylvania for a little while and learned about them, and now I see them, and I, you know, I'm like, oh, I know what that is. So it's just little things like that in life that kind of really set us up to be able to enjoy more things, be more perceptive, be more present, right? Get off our phones a little bit here and there, and really, you know, pursue the fulfillment in being alive in these bodies with these consciousnesses that we have and the ability to perceive the world. And, you know, all these things must be there for a reason. So let's find more and more things to enjoy. Find more satisfaction in our little lives. Brief and fleeting, small little lives. Okay, let's look and see. So, it looks like there's some kind of really big shifting emotions between you and somebody else. It seems maybe that there's been some kind of line that has been crossed to some degree. And it feels like this is going to need to be sorted out soon. Okay. I think that, you know, maybe in alignment with these feelings that you've been having, this kind of pursuit of pleasurable things, which is wonderful, by the way, for whatever reason, maybe, you know, just because your attention has been on your own business, your own interests, your own kind of self-exploration, something has, you know, arisen and has gone kind of a little south with this person, or, you know, something, it seems that they feel slighted in some way. And I don't know exactly where the line has been crossed, but it feels like maybe it's something, maybe kind of an angry exchange, possibly. But I think it should, you know, you should focus on getting this sorted, because I don't think it seems like it is in the beginning stages of something that could get more complicated if you don't kind of get it together. The other thing I kind of just wanted to say, and I just kind of wanted to look at this one more time, especially this one. Oh, and we have a 3. I didn't mention this. I have a 3, and let's get this up here so I can kind of, you can see there's like a little right there. So a 3, something with the number 3 is important. Then we have a T. Okay, almost looks like IT, maybe it. Hopefully not the clown, but something is coming up. We also have right here, it looks like a sheep. Okay, so in the way that I'm looking at this, it seems like make sure that you are getting your rest, okay? I feel like you're really, really involved in this kind of, this energy is really keeping you kind of wrapped up in your, I almost imagine going kind of just down these rabbit holes of like, exploring a new interest, or you're like so excited about trying this thing that you're gonna do, and you're really researching it and like staying up way too late, and you know, not only getting kind of you know, distracted from your friendships, relationships, but also just not getting the rest that you need. So make sure that you're sleeping well. And then this one's interesting because it looks like a person, and it reminds me of Nuit, kind of the goddess of the sky, the cosmos, the dark, you know, night, the starry night. And then we have this figure standing beneath it. So I feel that in this case, it feels like there's almost kind of a feeling of the night side, but it's more like, it feels like it's more based in the physical. I feel like maybe this is kind of like being drawn outside into viewing the stars or doing something beneath the stars. Maybe something like having a fire. Maybe if you have a place in your yard, or there's somewhere you can go where you can be around a fire. I think that this would be a really, pleasurable experience, but I think that it would also be very grounding for you. I think that it could be something that could stimulate a sequence of dreams or vision work. Just kind of sitting quietly, peacefully, maybe with others, just kind of enjoying a fire, looking into the fire, just kind of seeing what it has to reveal to you. And I feel that that's kind of a really strong image in my head. So if that is something that you can do, I would say go ahead and try to get that going. And then I just keep looking at this one, this one right here. It looks like the Loch Ness Monster. And I don't know. I was trying to figure out, like, what does this one mean? Like something very elusive, something that is kind of, I don't know. To me, it takes me down this thinking of a thought form, or like a tulpa, because there's all this mythology about Crowley doing some ritual in the house that he had near the loch. And so there's this theory that the Loch Ness Monster is tied to this this operation that was not finished or closed out, and so it's kind of tied to that. But I think that really, I don't know, I feel this is interesting. If you have any kind of insights into what this kind of dinosaur Loch Ness Monster might mean to you, let me know in the comments, because I'm a little I'm a little lost with that one. And then the last one I wanted to, let's see, we have two more. We have one with a person kind of holding a sun or a disc of some kind. And I think that this is interesting because it's kind of on the opposite. It's kind of balanced with the fire underneath the sky, the night sky. So this one seems like maybe there's also some dayside things that you could be doing. I think just, being out in the sun for sure. Wear your sunblock though. I'm not going to advocate being out there without any protection. But yeah, just really getting out for a walk, holding the sun in your hand, taking advantage of any time in the day that you have to go and do something for yourself, that you will get some vitamin C or vitamin D, and is it D or C? D. And I'm getting close to needing to go to bed here, obviously. But yeah, so I think that's a nice balance. Doing something in the night, okay, the fire if you can. At least going out and looking at the stars, basking in the endless night, okay? And then going out in the dayside, doing something among the living, and, kind of getting yourself some nice light. And then we have this little cardinal, which I always love seeing because it means that somebody is visiting you, somebody is thinking of you, that is a loved, somebody who you loved, who loved you, that is probably passed on. They have transitioned out of their corporeal body, and they're keeping an eye on you, and maybe coming to your garden to say hello once in a while. So this energy is there, and especially when we see a shift in self-work where you're getting into new interests, you're having, you know, you're being brave and you're trying new things. And then we see something where there is an ancestor, an elder, guardian angel, somebody that has passed, that you really respected them and their opinion mattered. And they're there to say, I support what you're doing, and, you know, kind of cheering you on. So, okay. I think that is our message. And I'm really interested about that Loch Ness monster. Where is that going to come up? Maybe one of you will have like a dream about it. Or maybe you've seen it. Maybe you've, you know, gone... maybe you're like one of those like cryptid hunter people. And I don't know. Let me know. All right. So I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me. It's always such an honor for me to bring these messages to you. I would be so appreciative if you could go ahead and like the video. It helps me get into the algorithm. And that is helping the channel grow, and we're growing slowly but surely. We've just gone over 6,000. So yay. And, I appreciate all of you, each and every one of you. If you have not subscribed, please think about doing so. You can hit the little bell and it'll let you know when the next videos are coming out. And so each sign is being read once a week. And between now and the next Scorpio, you can watch your other placements, your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising. I know people like to watch their Venus, and there are lots of people that cross watch their for their loved ones and partners and things. Other than that, if you want to leave a comment, let me know how you're doing. Let me know what's going on with you. I would love to hear from you. Okay, I thank you so much, and we will be talking again in a few days.